Guys, Adventure here. We're playing Persona 4 Golden on the PC right now, and we just got Dojima's scooter. So what's going to be able to happen is we're actually going to be able to take that scooter, and we're going to be able to ride around. I guess we're going to ride around town and stuff like that. It'll unlock other places for us. We'll be able to do that on certain days, and I'll tell you guys, we'll see when the best time to do that is. And of course, that's the boy we talked to earlier with the sticker. Apparently, the sticker we gave him does not appear to be good enough, so we got to figure that out. That's gonna be fun. So I guess I was wrong. It looks like we are able to still have our free time, our afternoon, I guess we'll call it, after school hours. So we'll be able to go around, do some of these quests. I'll probably forget about them after a certain point. Probably in the very near future, we will probably stop doing them all together because they're very, I don't want to say they're bad, they're boring, they're time consuming. They are time consuming, but we do need to do some of them, and like I said earlier previously, we're going to do the Fox ones. Don't worry about that. There's a whole bunch of other quests. Mainly what we're going to do is either they're going to be fetch quests where we talk to someone, or we're going to find the dog and feed it. And there are other quests where we can subconsciously do them, so to speak. And by that I mean we end up going into our dungeons, into the TV world, and we defeat certain enemies and they drop certain items, and we bring it back those certain items, and we give them to that person, and then we get rewarded for it. And that's kind of how it works. And I know that sounds stupid and horrible and all these things, but you know, if you're going out intentionally to do them, I'm sorry, I don't have the exact answer for all of them. But what I do have is the specific ones that you should focus on heavily. So we just got a bug catching net from the bug catching boy, we'll call him Buggy. We can't do it yet. Alright, let's talk to the kid. So the kid's telling us where we can catch the bugs. So we can catch them once per day when it doesn't rain. So this is going to be a trophy. I'm going to point it out in a second. So we can catch them once per day under this tree. You can use the action button depending on how you're playing. If you're using a controller, it's going to be the cross button. If you're using the PlayStation controller. And if we time it perfectly, we get better bugs and more bugs. So that's a trophy right there, is to swing the bug net with perfect timing. And you only have to do it once to get the trophy, but we're going to have to actually, for the off and on, I would strongly suggest if you're playing the game alongside with me here, if you want to catch bugs, try to do it every day it doesn't rain, at least once a day. There are specific bugs we need to make sure we get, and if we get the ladybugs, we're going to be able to actually give the ladybugs to that woman in the store, and she'll give us breadcrumbs. Now, of course, you know, each bug that you can use the bugs for fishing too. Each bug will attract one or two different types of fish, and yeah, we do have to fish. And we'll be getting to that later on in the game. Not much later in the game, but over the next few months, we're going to fish maybe a few times. Not much. I'm not big on fishing, and I only recently did the whole fishing stuff in my more recent playthroughs. I totally forgot about that being an actual thing. So we're going to kind of wander around the town here. We're finally, I think we're done with all our quests. So now we can finally relax for a minute and think about which social link we want to work on, because we have that free time. You can see we have Yukiko available. But I think we're actually going to talk to Saki's brother here. And this is going to be what they call a flag. We had it with, what's her name? Ai. The flag essentially means that we will be able to kind of start the social link, so to speak, without ranking up or using our time. It's just initiating a conversation. And by initiating a conversation, we're essentially saying, alright, so we do this now. Eventually, there's going to be another event later on in the game that allows us to kind of start the social link. It takes a little bit for Saki's brother here. I think there's at least 2 flags. Pretty certain that he's got 2 flags. That one kind of like where we talk to Ai and she's like, hey, let's ditch class. So, let's see. What are we doing? Let's talk to Kanji. So before we can spend time with Kanji, and this is kind of similar to what happened with Yukiko, and it's going to be something that happens with all the characters for the foreseeable future that are going to eat, not all the characters, but some characters that, you know, party-specific characters. In order for us to start those social links, we have to do specific things. It's like, oh, you haven't done this yet, in order to start them. So for Kanji, we kind of have to go see what the rumor is all about here. Kind of like how Yukiko, we had to wait till we were looking into kanji before we could actually do anything. So let's go back to the practice building and talk to Kanji here. We're gonna call him out. I mean, I don't think we know he's not really doing anything, but yeah, we're gonna tell him, yeah, we do. And that's gonna trigger our social link event with Kanji. So let's see what we're gonna tell Kanji here.
What is it? Huh. Huh?
And there we go. We just started our Kanji Tatsumi social link, and in all honesty, I feel like Kanji was one of the easier social links for me to really kind of start ranking up with, in all honesty, in terms of really getting what's the word I'm thinking of? The specific things. So starting at rank 2, we need to make sure we have the right personas, and we also need to make sure that we need to also, as I'm like trying to think, the right personas and get the right answers. And Kanji, for some reason, was the easiest person to do, outside of some other social links that we really can't mess up. And now that we've got, now as you notice, we're in June. We still have a ways to go, but at this point in the game, we do have a decent amount of social links that we're building up to. Already, we have Kanji, Yukiko, Yosuke, and Chie all in for our party alone. Then we have Yumi, the athletes, the Fox, Dojima, Nanako. We're literally just kind of juggling everything when it comes to our social links. And now we're going to talk to Nanako because she's a child, and I think she's going to help us with the sticker for the child. And I really hate this quest because I always mess it up. And you mess up one of the quests, you kind of forget about some of these quests, and you kind of mess it up, so everything is all messed up in terms of your calendar that you're trying to follow. Especially if you're trying to do, like, specific quests for the Fox, you get all messed up. That happens all the time. So we do have the ability to work some jobs tonight. I'm not going to focus on that today. We're really just going to go read. And we're going to get a phone call first. It's probably for someone who wants to go on the TV. No, it's Bay. Bay wants to go on the TV, huh? Now, normally, my very first playthrough is for Persona 4, when I would never get the 100%, and I was okay with it. Before I became addicted to it, I would do that. I would be like, yeah, let's go to the TV, let's level up, let's grind. We don't have to. We really don't. And I'm saying this, you don't have to grind. If you're smart, if you're smart at playing these games, you can clear a dungeon in one day, and you'll be fine. If you're a higher, like at this point in the game, the dungeons are going to get harder and longer, but right now our personal characters are around level 50. I grinded a lot, and it really helped me, where I can literally clear a dungeon in one fell swoop. Yo! And that's great. It feels great to be able to do that, but at the same time, it kind of defeats, I don't want to say defeats the purpose, but sometimes it takes away the fun. I'm a grinder. If that's the style of gameplay that you like to do, if you like to grind, then by all means do it. If you're not, pace yourself accordingly. We don't want you to overdo it when you're in a dungeon. I don't want to see people be like, oh man, I'm at best P and PP and I'm dead. That's not how you want to play these games. You want to pace yourself accordingly. There is time to do most of the social links. If you go in the dungeon more than once during the run, there's always a possibility that you'll be able to do almost everything, but you just have to learn the pace. If you're going on the pace to get the golden ending or the true ending, you should be able to still do everything, because I think we're gonna have a few weeks in game to just goof off, so to speak, but we really can't mess up the schedule too much. So now we have this new thing we can do on rainy days. We can just ride around on our scooter, and that's cool and fun and all things, but like, you only have to do it a certain amount of times. Riding the scooter around the neighborhood a couple times will raise your courage, and it'll also help us unlock new areas. Eventually we'll unlock 2 or 3 areas, which we will need in order to do certain quests and other things later in the game.
Welcome home!
So I don't think we can hang out with Nanako anyway, so we're gonna go outside. And shopping district. Now remember, you can catch bugs when it's not raining. So at night we can catch bugs if we really want to. Right now, we don't have to actually catch any bugs.
Oh.
Because we really need specific bugs for later in the game, and they're not spawning yet. So we're gonna hang out with Adachi here. And remember last time how we were talking to Adachi, we were saying, hey, let me cook you dinner, bitch. And now we're gonna have dinner with Adachi.
Bro!
And there we go. Look at the game just straight up skipped the whole school day on us, and I'm fine with that. School's not really the most important part of this game, which is, if you guys haven't figured that out yet, that's not surprising. But it's really the after-school time, I guess we could say. Spending time with our social links after school and at night. School is great because we can actually learn stuff, and you actually do learn stuff. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the stuff I've actually picked up in this game, I've picked up most of my knowledge about Japanese like school systems through the Persona games, and I feel like since 4 was the first one I played, 4 really kind of got me into understanding more about Japanese culture. So like when I first play the game, it comes off as a bit of a culture shock how it's set up, and then when you play it again, you're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And then when you play the other ones, it's like, okay, I know this. If you are looking at getting into the franchise as a whole, I highly recommend checking out 4 or 5 first. We're playing 4 here. Might do 5 at a later date. I've played 5 so many times, but, you know, I could play it again. It's my favorite title. 3 is the one I'd recommend the least, and I'm not saying because 3 is a bad game. 3 kind of reinvented the franchise as a whole, but it didn't feature all the new changes that we see in 4 and 5. So a lot of people are going, Persona 5 really kind of broke the hardcore mainstream. I mentioned this previously, with being on PlayStation 4 and the 3, and it was very more accessible. I think 5 was more open, so to speak, in terms of getting people to play it. It was easier, and all that stuff. And then you see Persona 5 had more merchandise stateside. And like I said, it broke through Hot Topic. And then you had the Funkos at GameStop. So yeah, it definitely broke through. And then there were people that experienced Persona 5 for the first time. I'm not angry that people got into Persona through 5. I'm actually happy people are playing the franchise. And they would go back and check it out. So like 4 was more easily accessible than 3 because it was on the Vita, and there are people that are modding it, emulating it, emulating. I get the two systems confused. Emulating it, and now it's on the PC. 4 is on the PC, and there's even more renewed interest in the franchise because people are playing 4 now after playing 5, and they're like, well, I played 5, I played 4, and you played 3. And it's really cool because I know a lot of people want to, the term is gatekeeping with franchises, and I don't get it. I want people to play the game. I want people to sit there and play this game because I love it, and I think other people will love it. And that's why we're doing this. I love Persona. If I were given a choice to play one franchise for the rest of my life, it'd be Persona because the games are amazing. And I'm gushing here. I'm eagerly anticipating a Western release for Persona 5 Strikers, the Phantom, Persona 5 Scramble, the Phantom Strikers. I'm really looking forward to that. If that does come stateside, guys, we are going to do a 100% walkthrough here, a video guide, let's say, whatever you want to call it. But right now, we're going to spend time with Marie, obviously. Now we're in Okina City, so we hit the train here. And, of course, Chie and Yukiko are here. And if you played vanilla Persona 4 and not Persona 4 Golden on either PC or the Vita, or if you found a way to mod the Vita on the PC or PlayStation TV, Marie's Social Link is brand new for the game. And a large part of Marie's social link is she interacts with the other characters in the party. So this is, we interacted with Yosuke first, and now she's meeting Chie and Yukiko, which is pretty cool. Throughout the game, she's going to interact with all the other party members as well. And I feel like it's integral. At first, I was like, why? This is Marie's social link. This is Marie's story. Well, we're at the point right now as someone who's played the game multiple times where it makes sense and I understand it. And having her meet Chie and Yukiko at this... Actually, she already met Chie. She did. We previously had her meet Chie at the Junes food court. This is her first time meeting Yukiko. My bad. But having Chie and Yukiko together at this point in the game, it makes sense because they're best friends. So they're going shopping, and this is actually quite a comical scene if I recall correctly. And it kind of... I feel like this upcoming sequence is kind of poking fun at the game itself. The one thing is, and this is in a video game trope, and an anime trope, and a cartoon trope, where the characters are always wearing the same damn costume over and over again. Like, all these characters are constantly wearing the same thing. I get it, there's limitations in design and everything like that. You're not going to be able to change costumes all the time. You can change costumes in games. Like Grand Theft Auto does a good job having your characters wearing different costumes, outfits if you change them. But games like this, they don't do it. It would be cool, but they don't do it. And now we're kind of going shopping. And as I said, the scene is actually very comical because Chie's picking out stuff that's green. And classic Chie, that's what she's going to do.
Hey.
And now Hibika's having the same issue with Red.
Hey.
And I do like the fact that they're making fun of the whole situation. It's like, oh, how about this? How about this? How about this? And then, let's see. Chie selects the yellow skirt and blue skirt. Guess what those two colors make? Green! Oh ho ho! But Chie wears green and yellow all the time. That's her jacket. I do like Chie's track jacket though. There is a company that actually makes it for sale. I was like, oh, I like track jackets. I can wear it, you know, in the spring. No one will get it. No one will get it. And in this interaction, I believe none of our actual responses up to this point really mattered. So we could have pretty much said almost anything at this point to Marie in order to rank up next time. Just saying that, just throwing that out there. So we could say almost anything, and next time we hang out with her, we probably should be able to rank up with her. It doesn't matter because, like I said, there's one answer here where we actually have to answer specifically, and last time I messed it up, so it took me an additional day to spend time with Marie, and it throws the schedule off. So if you're following the guides are going to tell you, the guide that I'm using, and I'll post a link in one of these videos. It's a daily guide for 100% max, and I highly recommend it because it really did help me out because I'm bad at time management to an extent. And I always stress using one of those so that way you're able to see as much as you can the game has to offer, and it's really beneficial, I think. Some people might say it takes away from the fun, but if you look it up before you sit down and play it, and then you sit down and just focus on the game, it doesn't take away from the fun, in my opinion. It really kind of allows me to see more. And that's what I like about these games. There's just so much to see, and it really does encourage playing it again. A lot of games don't really give you anything for playing again other than oh, here's invincibility and vulnerability. Persona's like, okay, well, you didn't do this, so maybe you should try to do it this way. It doesn't really, not much of the game doesn't actually change, but it's just there's different options to do. So we say let's hurry. That's the right answer. We're gonna get the 3 music notes, and that's important there. So we're gonna rank up with Marie here. I think. Nope, not yet.
Hey.
But right now, I know at the time of this recording, they finally announced Ghost of Tsushima New Game Plus, and they added some new stuff, but not really. So it's like, do you want to really play it? I don't know. But now we're ranked 3 with Marie, and this looks like a great place for us to stop, guys. My name has been Anger Banjo. Thank you guys for tuning in. Guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, suggestions for what you want to see next time, let me know down the bottom there. I'll see you guys next time.
See ya.